Hey guys, what's up? I want to make this video about Ronnie Coleman's back training methods. I've been studying all the various IBB pros for a long time, and I still continue to follow him and look at the splits or whatever. For one simple reason, not only I look at natural bodybuilders, but I also look at a lot of IBB pros for, like I said, for one reason, because it's their life. This literally what they do. Yes, even though you have science on one side, you have bro science, and you have all these things. I look at everything. You guys, if you know my channel, I look at every single thing I could put on the table on the same topic, and I look for the common threads. And the reason why I study IBB pros a lot more extensively, despite the supplements they take or whatever things they might take. I'm not assuming anything, but the reason why I study them is because they have the most experience. One thing about observation is you also want to look at facts. You want to look at the people that study the topic, but you also want to look at the people who do the topic. That's why the bro science against science debate will never be solved, and I would never pick a science side, because you can't just look at the people who study something. You have to look at the people who are actually doing it. Um, Same thing with like basketball. You could get advice on how to shoot from a coach, or you could get it from a player. That the coach has seen a lot of players go, come and go, so he knows a lot about technique and form. But the player, he's been doing it his whole fucking life. So you can't just isolate one side. You gotta listen to both heads. But anyway, so I look at a lot of Ronnie Coleman training videos, and I took notes on my little Excel thing. I study a lot of his philosophy. Thank God, because he won so many titles. He has a lot of training videos out there, and I look for consistency. What doesn't change in all his videos, and I also look at a lot of his seminars that he mentioned. In case you guys don't know Ronnie Coleman, this guy has an amazing back, and every time you ask him about his back, he always says the same thing. He trained back twice a week. I mean, twice a week when he wanted to bring his back up, which is similar to a lot of people that I know that have great backs. They train back twice a week. My uncle, for example, um, he trains back twice a week. When his back was lagging, he came up. Phil Heath started training back twice a week when his back was lagging. Jay Cutler did the same thing. A lot of people noticed a lot of improvements when they increased the frequency of training a body part. But another thing that Ronnie Coleman also mentioned is his #1 exercises, and I was so happy when he mentioned that, because I actually got to write them down. He said he divides his training into 2 back days: roll day and width day, which is the same thing I do. And the moment I started doing that, my back made phenomenal progress. I'm not where I want to be now, but I made a lot of progress in such a small amount of time. If you've been watching me on my bulk, which started 6-7 months ago, you notice that my back put on a lot of size, and I still have room to grow. Like I said, I'm only a year into this. I'm only 6 months into my bulk, so I have if I keep training for like 7 more years at the rate I'm going now, yes, eventually I reach a plateau, but I'm growing pretty fast based on these methods. And what I do is what Ronnie advises is on the road day he does these exercises. I wrote them down. He says these are his favorite exercises for the road. The road day is really for thickness, So when I do splits, because you guys know I do full body workouts and splits, I try to alternate back and forth, because you can't stick to one for a long period of time. On the thickness day, he does a deadlift. He says these are his favorite exercises on in order: deadlift, bent over row, T-bar row, and the one-arm row. And you guys know those exercises are some of the greatest back builders out there as far as thickness. And on the width day, he does chins. Even though we don't really see him do that in his workout videos, but he said that he used to do it a lot before. So I still gotta consider. When you look at a bodybuilder, don't just look at what they're doing now. Look at what they used to do before, because what they're doing now may be different than what they started off with. Because now they might have a different goal. They might try to get their calves to grow, their legs to grow, so they won't put as much intensity and focus on the body part that they already have. So I like looking at what bodybuilders did before they became famous. So chins, in order: chins, pull downs behind the back, and cable roll. So, like I said, I started doing this on my back training, and boy, I noticed a big difference. Because on thickness day, I get you focused on all the rolling movements. It's very hard to combine all the rolling movements and all the pulling movements on the same day. It's not only too much volume, but I hate saying too much volume because I really don't believe. But it's just too much. You won't have time to do biceps or calves or whatever other mini groups you want to train on back day. So it's better to split your back into those 2 different sessions. And so yeah, like I said, write this down in case you're looking for like new exercises to add to your routine, or in case your back is lagging. Maybe one of these exercises is missing from your routine. I mean, no one who does deadlift, bent over rows, T-bar rows, and one-arm rows has a weak back. And like I said, I write down every bodybuilder that has a great back. I write down all their back workouts, and I look for the common thread, and they all have at least deadlift. Some of them don't have deadlifts, don't get me wrong, but they all have barbell row. They all agree that it's a great exercise. They all have one arm row, and some of them have T-bar row. So it's an exercise that you these are exercises that you really gotta have in your back training. And if you guys notice, like I said, the thickness of my back is really starting to come in from doing all these rolls on their own days. It gives me time to train, width on the back width on a separate day. And yeah, that's about it. Reps are always 12 to 15 according to him. He says he never goes below 10 unless it's deadlift, because you really don't want to go too heavy for more than 10 reps on deadlifts. He really believes in training for the pump, high repetitions. Many people have this misconception about Ronnie Coleman that because he lifts so heavy, you have to lift heavy to build muscle, really, really super heavy weight. People forget that it's proportionate. The weights that are heavy for us is not heavy for Ronnie Coleman. The way we think is heavy by looking at his videos, it's not heavy to him. What I did one day is I took a calculator and I used the one rep max different programs out there, and I tried to calculate all of Ronnie Coleman's training percentages, meaning every exercise that I saw him do in his videos. I try to look at how heavy that was compared to his one rep max, and believe it or not, the number that always popped up was 74 to 75%, meaning every exercise that he did was always within the 70 to 75% of his one rep max. How do you know that? Even without the calculator, you can figure this out using common sense. Yeah, you see him moving all that heavy weight on his barbell rolls and T-bar rolls, but he's always doing 10 to 15 reps, 10 to 12, 12 to 15. So even though that weight looks like an immense amount of weight, it's really not that heavy for him. Because if he could do 12 reps of that much weight, just think about what his one rep max is. Think about what his 6 to 8 rep max is. So stay within the 70 to 75% one rep. I mean 70 to 75% repetition percent of your one rep max, and only increase the weight on like if you really have a plateau or whatever. So yeah, he believes in pump training, high volume, obviously, explosive lifting, kind of like Johnny Jackson, Brent Warren. Even though a lot of these guys like to say, oh, you got to go slow controlled. They do a lot of explosive training, and I know people who do a lot of explosive training and also make great gains. In fact, I saw a science study that said that training fast actually builds more muscle than training slow. But like I said, these are just studies. I don't know if they were subjective, objective, or whatever. So just anyway, like I said, this is not. I'm not telling you guys to copy exactly what I documented here. I'm just showing you guys, the data pretty much. Keep an open mind. Look at the common threads. Always compare what IBB Pro is doing to what somebody else is doing. Always compare. Look and compare. This is just keeping your mind open. All right. So don't copy and paste everything that I put out there. Just try to draw your own conclusions based on the findings, and hopefully it'll help you bust a lot of bodybuilding myths out there. All right, guys. Hope this helps. This definitely helped me. I took, like I said, I took out what I could use, and the rest I just threw out. So hopefully you do the same. Use wisdom. Team 2D.